In this video, I am going to explain you that how you should not just rely on the data. Sometimes there is more to the data or rather environment that can confuse you. If you're just going by the data, you might make wrong interpretation. And that's where it is important to know the domain before you actually make judgment at times. To prove you that, I'm going to use RBI data for the purpose. If you are following, RBI has modified these 4 months data, you will have to take the new data and do the analysis. Let me show you what do I mean, that how you cannot just rely on the data and just go and start making interpretation. So let me show you that. So here I'm going to read the data, that RBI data that I have consolidated from from April 22 till date, till July 24, and let me show you why I'm saying that, okay, you cannot just rely on the data and you can think of. So here, let's take a look at the trend in the data, that how does it look like. So for that particular purpose, what I'll do, I will do year by year and month by month analysis. So let's take year by year and month by month analysis, and let's see that what I'm trying to refer here. So take a look at the total transaction, not POS or online. So take a look at the total credit card purchase transactions, how it is happening, and take a look how it has changed over time. So here we are just going by the actual data. Take a look at the graph because that will give us the good understanding. Let me remove the grand total because that's what is spoiling the whole graph, so that we get the month over month and bank by bank graph kind of. So now take a look. Take a look here. So this is the green one is HDFC. This was going this particular way, but if you look at, all of a sudden it's just going shooting. It's almost like, if this was the line, now this is going in a different angle. And the same is true for ICICI. The same is up to somewhat true for SBI Card. And the same is true for other. And look at here, these are others, other small players which I have combined as others. Other than these 8 players, all I have combined as others. So it's happening. You can clearly see that this is where the axis took over the portfolio of Citibank. So it went from here to here, and that's why you see all of a sudden jump in axis. So you think that, okay, this is gaining the lot of market share, purchase transactions share it is gaining. So take a look at the purchase volume transactions here, that okay, how it is happening. So purchase transactions, you can see that okay, it's taking more and more share, but purchase value wise, if you take a look and look at how it is changing over time, you will get to know that okay, this is the graph. So now if you take a look, it's going up, but take a look at the market share. Now take a look at the total transaction value, and take a look at the market share, that how does it seem like. So for that, I'm going to take sum of row total, so that we can get to know that okay, for each month, what is the sum of row total. So we'll give you what is the percentage of market share, and let's do column by formatting so that we know what is the best period for each individual player. So you can clearly see that SBI is in red from here. HDFC is also not into the best phase. Its market share seems going down. So now you will start wondering that okay, here the market share is going down. SBI, these 5 months from Feb, obviously Feb, March, April, May, June, all these months it seems like going down. So what is happening? How it is happening? So actually why it is happening, that it's happening because from the period, from some time, the UPI transactions and all those things started coming on the card, and some of these like HDFC were in the forefront, and that's why they got lot of transactions. But these transactions were not necessarily having so much value. So that's where the transaction wise, it seems like let me see just what, yeah, it's total transactions. So in total transaction by it might seem that okay, it has got just slight jump. But if you look at the graph, that was looking like a huge number. Now you like to, see that okay, where the jump has come, in POS, where people go and swipe, or online. Now this will give you a very contrast picture. Take a look. So here you go ahead and take a look at the credit card purchase online volume. So it is how many transactions are happening. Now if you take a look how many transactions are happening, so you see all of a sudden that okay, in online space it looks like ICICI and SBI is gaining market, whereas in the value you have seen they are not gaining the market. And as this HDFC is losing market and same Axis. Now take a look at what is happening if you go for the POS transaction, right? Take a look at the POS transactions where you people go and swipe the card, typical POS transaction. What is happening? So here if you take a look, now the story is just opposite. HDFC is gaining market, and so Axis is not, but up to some extent is maintaining, and ICICI and SBI Card is losing market big way. Why it is happening? How is that possible? The whole reason why this is showing such an absurd figure is all because there is no clear guideline given to different banks how to represent UPI transactions, etc. So what is happening? HDFC and Axis are most likely presenting UPI transactions as online, as POS, and that's why their POS share is increasing. And ICICI and SBI is actually showing it online, that's why their online percentage is going. However, when you take a look at the total, the market share of all the players are almost not increasing that way, because almost everybody is going into that space where they are issuing card, where on the card UPI transactions can happen. Now let me show you something more, and there again you can go wrong. So take a look, this is of RBL, this lineage of RBL, which you can see clearly that their total transactions are going down. Now just because their total transactions are going down, total transaction shares are going down. So if you take a look at the ticket size, what is ticket size means? What is the total transactions per transactions spend is happening? For this particular player, RBL, it will look huge all of a sudden. Why? Because they are losing market share on transactions, because they were probably not in the space of UPI transactions in the beginning. Let me show you the same. So here I'll just go ahead, I'll take a look at the bank wise, and within bank wise I will take a look at the year and month wise, so that I know for each year and month how it is happening. So within each bank, let me take a look at year and month wise study. I will take a look at the sum of the total purchase value, right? And now let's divide this purchase value by total number of transactions. So that's why we'll get to know that what is the spend per transaction happening. We'll apply divide, and we'll do a bar chart. We will take that interact chart, so that we are taking the interaction of these two variables. Now take a look at the graph. The graph, we'll just take a look at the graph directly, because the graph will be the most important aspect here. Now the graph, the graph is appearing too much, so let's convert this same number into in lieu of taking month and year, we'll take month and quarter, so that the number of bars are quite little less, and we could analyze it little easier. So I will go ahead, take the year. I will take the year and I'll take the quarter. Keep in mind, for this particular quarter, July, it is just the 1 month, but that's okay, because that at least gives you the clear graph. So now you take a look, it looks like for RBL it is going up, for others it's going down, but for RBL it looks like it's going too much high. IndusInd, obviously on the higher side, City in the higher side. to make it easier, to understand it easier, what we will do, we'll remove city and IndusInd, because that that's a small portfolio and city is almost a very small portion of city is remaining. So let me remove IndusInd and let me remove city, so that we can see the graph more clearly, more easily. Now take a look. All of a sudden, it will look like that RBL is actually looks like, it is at 1.5 times of SBI card. In fact, RBL appears even bigger than, probably HDFC or others. It's all because their number of transactions has not increased so much. So if you're just going by the transaction count, spent by transaction count, and understand this way, on UPI transactions, usually number of transactions might be too much, but spend volume, value, what is the value of the transaction might be very less, sometimes 60 rupees, sometimes 90 rupees, sometimes, whereas typical transaction otherwise on the card is usually 2000, 3000 kind of, and that's where, the ticket size seems going very high for RBL, but that's again misinterpretation. So my understanding is, my suggestion is that when, as of now, there is no point doing analysis on POS and online for RBI data, because there is no consistency in which the data is being reported by different banks. Thank you for watching.